lean into your trial and see what it will work in you. James says this: count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations or various trials, adversities, afflictions, and troubles. And he said, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. So we come to this completeness and perfectness when we allow our trials to work in us. And more specifically, it works a patience or a steadfastness, a constancy, and an endurance. This is a characteristic of a man or a woman who is not swerved from his or her deliberate purpose. They're loyal to it and they're committed. This is great in and of itself, that our trials can work patience. But Paul goes on a little further in Romans and expresses some other things that the trial can work in us. In Romans chapter 5, and starting with verse 2, Paul says this. He says, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of God. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations or in trials. Also, knowing that tribulation works patience. We already know this from James, where I mentioned. But then he goes on to say this, that and patience, and you could imply here that, continuing from verse 3, that patience works experience, and experience works hope. I don't know about you, but going through trials, situations, going through life, I need and desire to have a hope of things to come, a hope beyond this life. Romans chapter 8, verse number 18, Paul says this. He says, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. That's that glory that is to come, that's after this life, that we have a hope for when we endure the trials, the troubles, the tribulations, and gain an experience in those things. Now, with every difficult thing you face, think of this rather than how difficult that thing is. Think of the experience that you're gaining rather than how hard it is. Lean into the trial with courage and confidence. And don't be afraid to look like a fool and fail sometimes. For I think it's better to look like a fool trying than to be a fool for never trying. And regardless, if you fail sometimes, you'll now have the experience to go forward and the hope to try again.